saying Hassan to all of you out there. While the interview is ongoing, you can start to text your messages to star 799 hash. Star 799 hash. You can play at least one time, but the more the better your chances are to win. You're walking away with $2,500 Liberian dollars, folks. $2,500 Liberian dollars. 4 winners, so that 10G right there with a lottery. And this is our way of saying happy Unification Day to you. We have a host of other media institutions. We'll be going live shortly, and they are Liberian News Agency, that's LINA for short. We have Banner TV and Banner FM respectively. We have Front Page Africa, of course, you know, is an online platform. We have Esteem TV, and we have KMTV here too as well. This program should be relayed on OKFM 99.5 and a host of other media institutions in and around Monrovia. My name is Kelvin Demi, and like we want to say, like we said rather, happy Unification Day to all of you out there. Hope the day is well spent. Hope the day is well spent. We pray God's blessing as you celebrate in peace. And our own way of doing this is to give you 10,000 Liberian dollars this morning. At 11 o'clock, we close the draw. The platform will be automated. It's an automated platform. Sharp 11 o'clock, it closes. So you have in between now to 10:59, at least 10:59. Sharp 11, we're not going to be accepting any entry. So this is why you have time sufficiently to make sure you play to win. You stand a chance. All you need to do is to have 1, a Lone-Star cell number, 2, you must have at least 70 cents in your USD account, 70 cents, at least 70 cents. And then in your Lone-Star mobile money wallet, you should have at least 100 Liberian dollars. The more, the better. The more, the better. And so it is what it is. So that's 2G5, 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 2005, 10,000 for 4 persons this morning. You can start to play while the interview is ongoing. You can be playing. 11 o'clock officially we do you the draw. We'll call out the name. We'll call your number. We do it live. You don't have to walk here at Prime FM to get your money. It goes straightly and instantly to your wallet. You will receive your alert, and you can clarify that yes, my name is Kelvin Demi. I live Gardnersville, and I've received my 2005. Congratulations! Thanks to Prime FM for giving me the money. 2005. You see already, you don't have to come here at Prime FM to receive your money. So let's see how many more minutes. It's 9 o'clock. Well, shortly we will be hearing from Representative Gray. Let's take a break, and after that, we'll be hearing from Representative Moses Acarous Gray. From the Radio and Communication Service of Prime Communications Network Incorporated, Prime FM 105.5. We'd like to say happy Unification Day to all of our online viewers. As you can see, we look very, very good, and it's pleasant here in Monrovia, the nation's capital. And I would like to give a special recognition to all of you who have come to make this edition a success. The following institutions are the Liberia News Agency, LINA for short, Banner TV and Banner FM respectively, represented Front Page Africa, Esteem TV, KMTV, and a host of other media institutions relaying this program here from the studios of Prime Communications Network Incorporated. It's also on our platform. You can view on Prime FM Monrovia 105.5. And our special guest on this holiday edition of the program, the Prime Morning Drive, is no other but Representative Moses Acarous Gray of Monrovia County, District number 8. I'd like to say good morning, and it's my pleasure. It's our pleasure having you here on this very, very important interview. It's been a while. I've not seen you. You know, the last time was at SONA, was State of the Nation. Well, except in passing, but I've not had a feeling about, your voice on the radio again. Yeah, for a very long time. For some time now, not very long, but for some time now. It's really happy having you here. Happy holiday.
Thank you very much, and I want to say Happy Unification Day to you, the Liberian people, and those out there in radio land. I'm excited to be in the studio. I've been too well. I've been doing a lot of resting. But again, I want to tell Almighty God, thank you. I'm on my feet, and I know today Unification Day is a grand day.
Has the family, has the district as well?
The district is splendid. Definitely, we are in a political setting. We have voter registration, and I want to appreciate the cordiality and the peace. Okay, that our district didn't have a kind of situation like maybe other lecturer districts. So I want to appreciate the people of District number 8 for being very peaceful, and they will make that decision not to attend. But they have been relatively peaceful.
So October, if elected, will be a what, third time?
Yeah, definitely. I'm very optimistic that we are going to get that.
You're very optimistic. Your chances, you're optimistic.
Let me be very frank with you. We know a lot of people desirous of contesting, many aspirants. However, we don't overlook anyone. There's no small person in the race as far as I'm concerned. And I consider myself to be the underdog. The underdog in the sense that we're not going to overlook anyone. We're in a fight. As we fought, and even more, because this is a presidential election also. Not just the legislative election, but it's both presidential and legislative. And as a result of that, we are equally fighting for the presidency. We are fighting for 73 seats in the House of Representatives and 15 seats in the Liberian Senate. So it's a big fight. And especially as chairman of the Legislative Caucus, we have to fight for the majority during our second term.
His name is Representative Moses Acarous Gray of District number 8, Monrovia County. In his opening comments, you hear him give warmest felicitation to each and every Liberian, to include his district residents of number 8 and Monrovia County on this Unification Day broadcast right here on Prime FM 105.5. My name is Calvin Demi. Again, we want to say happy Unification Day to all of you monitoring this program. We'd like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you find yourself on this Unification Day broadcast. And so we also want to use this time to say thanks to all of you relaying this program online and through your different frequencies. My name is Kelvin. Again, we'd like to say good morning and welcome. So your achievements. I know sometimes it's boring, but it's good to, there's always a first timer, monitoring the radio. There are some persons who believe that you've not done anything, that you don't deserve a third term. There are some persons who believe that you've done. And there are some persons on the fence, Yes, they know the name Representative Moses Acarous Gray. They've heard from your critics saying he does not deserve a third term. And so we should disqualify him. We should not elect him. Let's bring in a new person. Let's bring in a new face. And it's an opportunity for you, I want to say, to do a rollover on what you do.
No, basically, Kelly and those out there, my records are public records in terms of the legislations, we pass on in terms of our own oversight. They have been able to create job opportunities across the country. For example, the creation of the Ministry of Finance, Development, Planning, and that of the Liberian Revenue Authority during my first time, as chairman and governance. We ensured that those two bills were being passed and subsequently signed into law. And we separated the Ministry of Planning. We merged the Ministry of Planning and that of the original Ministry of Finance. And then we took the revenue component from the original Ministry of Finance and created the Liberia Revenue Authority. So now that's why they say planning and development. It was just the Ministry of Finance. So they will execute the planning aspect and developmental agenda of the country. They will not be the one to collect the money and spend the money. So the collection of our money in our country in terms of taxes that have been collected by the LRA. So the workers that were part of the Ministry of Planning by then and the then Ministry of Finance, we didn't set them aside, like take them off jobs. We incorporated them into the Ministry of Finance, or Planning and Development, and those who are going to the Liberian Revenue Authority to the revenue component. We also incorporated them at the LRA, and those who reached the age of retirement were given a just benefit, and those who just didn't want to work at all at the both entities were also paid off. So yes, we employ people, and people that are being employed are not people from one political institution like the LRA, like the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. In fact, a lot of persons thought that I would start the process because it was very clear that Minister Amara Conan will become the first Minister of Planning and Minister of Finance, Development and Planning, and Frida Tama will become the LRA boss. And because of the public disagreement with Amara, people thought, but I subjected a personal disagreement to that of the national agenda of our country because I thought those two bills were in the separate interest of the Liberian people. So today when you talk about the Code of Conduct bill, not only did I sponsor the bill, but it's a governance bill. So we went through it. Another governance bill that has to do with the Local Governance Act, and the Land Right Act. So those are all things that we have to initiate, working with the late Dr. Sawyer on the Local Governance Act as chairman of governance. So there are significant oversights. When we talk about, in fact, 60% of District Number 8 was not electrified. The rules were very terrible and dangerous. The first set of communications that I wrote in 2012 had to do with the issue of electricity and routes. All is now rosy. Let us not make a mistake. However, we are on course. As a national government, we are indeed on course. So again, the laws are there. Today you talk about the repealed alien naturalization law, certain provision and amending it to provide once a Liberian, always a Liberian, citizenship being given to natural born Liberians who were deprived of their citizenship on the basis of what I call a de jure discrimination that was created through the act of the legislature, I think in the 70s. So that de jure discrimination has been repealed. So that's one of the major victories across the country. So it's not only for people in District Number 8, but they call across. Like for example, the National Act on Tourism. Okay, the bill on tourism was passed by the House of Representatives, Central Liberian Senate acted upon it. So we are optimistic that once it reaches the desk of the president, will sign that into law, and our economy will boom through tourism. Jobs will be created through tourism, for example. You know what tourism has done for many.
What specifically in tourism you intend to attract?
Everything, ranging from our forests, our animals, our beaches, hotels, for example, sightseeing,
resource,
everything you can think about that falls on tourism is captured in that document. It will be an entity set aside, okay, exclusively an autonomous agency set aside.
Do we have attractive places in our country?
We have
To
we have historical areas. For example, the Providence Island. Liberia is the only country of the United States that is the land of return. The only country is not Ghana. Okay, Ghana is an exit point for slave trade where people were taken away to their main custom. Okay, but Liberia people were brought into Liberia. Our brothers who were liberated and free were brought into Liberia to reside into Liberia, resided on the historical Providence Island. Liberia has a history as far back as 1822. When you look at the rich history of the settlers, the indigenous, for example, and some of what we have, like in Grand Cape County, for example, today people going to Grand Bassa County, there's a lodge that is open there. The Americans resided in a specific area there. You see in Grand Cape County, the Americans were there during World War II, flying into Northern Africa to fight General Romeo Fox, the commander of the German forces operating in North Africa. Our country was being used, not just the RIA, even the slavery port was being used, okay? So there were areas in our country. We have a lot of sites. We have traditional areas. If you listen to some of the stories that exist, you will definitely be excited to go there. We have the lakes, for example. We have Lake Peace, we have Lake Shepherd. We have the most beautiful beaches across the coast of West Africa, 350 miles, okay? We have a rainforest. In fact, we have 40% of the forest region collectively in the entire West Africa. 40% minimum. Liberia. We have unique animals in our country, like the pygmy hippopotamus, for example, is unique to the Republic of Liberia. So we have a lot of things to sell out there. We have a rich history to sell out there. We have the issue of our resources, for example, to sell out there. So do we need such an entity that will also have a department for branding? Yes, we definitely need that. So the issue of whether we perform is not a question. Okay, so today now I'm doing some renovation at the Radical Market. I did that in 2016, 2017. And again, I'm doing that.
the running time?
Yeah, the Radical Market. You can go there, take the camera. People are very excited.
What specifically are you doing?
You know, outside the market, there are people who sell around the perimeter of the market. Okay, and they have issues with roofing, the zincs. For example, they want to give you a facelift, a beautiful facelift. So as I speak to you now, I'm working on that. Now as I'm speaking to you, and we want to take our people from the rain. It's raining on them, and we went there to help to take them off the rain. So we've done this before. It's not just in my first time I did that. So a lot of things contributing to schools. I spend not less than $40,000 annually sending kids to school. There's no university in the Monrovia belt that I don't have students in. No. They can tell me that I don't have students in. They almost all the senior high schools in the district. I have students going to school there, okay? I don't necessarily depend on what scholarship government gives because it's $2,006. So if I have 7 students in Monrovia College, for example, we're talking about nothing less than $5,000. Okay, so the bulk of the money is what I work for. And I talk to friends across there. I have a lot of good friends and they help me. I constructed a home down the street of fire victim, down there rooms. I don't talk much about these things. I'm doing another fire victim in the Bush Quarters community. I'm hoping in the next 3 months we can conclude it. But it's been zing, okay? And a lot of things we do. A lot of things we do. We've been able to help to employ some people in the private sector and in the governmental sectors. We've been able to use our influence, okay? And we are excited. I'm extremely excited now. The Johnson Street Road and the Slavery Road, there will be asphalt pavement, okay? Asphalt, in fact, done on that road, it will not be as paved as other roads, and we are hoping that the next budget year when we should have one, we do that. We'll put some cross racks on it to give it a facelift. You know, the people of Raleigh-Town are complaining about it more, the way the area is, the road that leads to Raleigh-Town Market. We just did a feasibility study, the World Bank and the Ministry of Public Works. Also, they have an understanding already to do the zoning, to create a drainage. What you call it zoning in Inland, call it zoning and drainage. There is one community that we call Soliman.
But
But it runs from Maple Street, coming down to Berkeley Street, all the way to Lane Street, going all the way to Obuse Quarters. Yeah, and the most beautiful entertainment area in terms of entertaining the young people, recreation, let me use the word recreation, is being constructed behind the BDC, between District 7 and District number 8, Monrovia County. So the president is very concerned about that area going into the ocean, the drainage area.
Okay, yeah, because it stinks.
No, we can't have that beautiful place and have the drainage system. Yeah, so we have a great plan. I'm not to divulge that. The minister still working for you. We talk quickly, talk about that more. But we've been working in that direction. So I can assure you that District 8 will remain the area.
Wow.
Yeah, because of what we're going to put right behind the BDC is unprecedented. And the president said when Senegal, he saw it. He asked his friend, McKinsey, and yes, they gave him the beautiful plan of it. So we executed it. Right in Liberia, right in District number 8 and District number 7, Monrovia County. We get our entire area facelift. Just watch and see what I'm talking about. And we're going to open that area this year before elections.
Honorable Moses Acarous Gray, before we move on to the next slate on our conversation, there are some other issues, that your critics, they're using against you. One of such is the issue about your wedding. That I'm quite sure you've heard about that. Representative Gray took his wedding out of this country. I mean, it tells you that he doesn't, feel for the people of Liberia. He's living an elitist life. I've not asked you this question before, even though personal, but I'm quite sure you've heard.
Yeah, who are the people talking?
They've
always been my critics. I like the way you put it in context. Even when I passed the bill to create the Ministry of Planning, the Ministry of Finance Development Planning, to create LRA, the very critics were in pro, but yet they say I did nothing. Yet they say I don't love Liberia. Yet they criticize me. So it's not a strange thing. So I thought those critics would hold their own lawmakers, for example, that they voted for and supported in very electoral district. They pass a law and say where people make personal decisions like where you eat, where you get married, for example, etc. Who you get married to, for example. They just need to pass a law on that. Like one of the guys who aspired against me, wanting to aspire, I don't want to be naming people. They got married in the United States of America. Okay, you were sitting national protocol head for the country, and you abandoned the president in the United States of America and went about marrying in the United States, and you cautioned my marriage. I think it's sad. But I will not dabble or dwell into these kind of chicaneries. Okay, these are mere chicaneries. My people are excited, especially the women are very excited. Okay, and our families in the district, our mothers, the churches, the mosques, they are excited because it's a fulfillment. It doesn't matter where. It's one of the religious fulfillment to get married. Okay, so I hope some of them will get married. Somebody will get married to a Chinese woman in China that is fighting against them, but they don't talk about that. Okay, why Acarous Gray? I can understand that Representative Gray has been very critical against former administration.
Do you have a problem with someone getting married to a foreigner?
I don't have. I have no problem with that. Absolutely. I say it's a choice. Like I said to you, there's no law that forbids anybody, and I appreciate that. Well, like I say, it's a religious fulfillment. Okay, to get married. The Bible talks about.
But they are making your constituents to believe that it's a wrong thing. It's a wrong idea. To have an elaborate or expensive wedding.
The thing,
they are not in your shoes.
The thing is that
the argument could be, I did this before I became a lawmaker.
No, I'll tell you all of you who were appointed official of the government.
Okay.
So assuming that what you did before you became a lawmaker, okay, you don't think you can still do it. You can still do it. So you didn't calculate to become a lawmaker or elected official. You should start calculating from your childhood time, the way you come up. So because some of these things come back to haunt you, they come back to bite you. You're the journalist, you do critical analysis of people who say I want to be a lawmaker. Okay, you go back into their historicity, whether they have the competence, whether they will live up to what they are saying, what they've done, what are the contradictions, for example. So I'm not moved by critics. I'm one of the guys, in fact, when I post People even insult my parents on my page. I don't stop them. I don't prevent them. I'm very open because they fear greed a lot. They know our capabilities. They know what we can do. If we can survive 12 years, placed in the jungle or army nation under the Ellen Johnson-led administration, and we use our intelligence to survive for 12 solid years and won an election massively at the presidential level, legislative level. What more can they say? Who are the people criticizing? People who squandered the resources for 12 solid years. They admitted to squandering the opportunities. These are the people you're talking about. They have no moral standing to criticize someone. They have no standing at all. Some other people were in a district were being arrested and placed behind bars in the United States of America for stealing poor people money. A public record, 21 months, and behind bars. These are the people that want to challenge Acarous great, a sophisticated political character in the country. They are public records. My records are clear from the time I joined international politics. My advocacy level led me to become a legislator.
Are you convicted of winning the third time?
I'm very convinced. I'm optimistic. In fact, I'm fighting for the presidency more than I'm fighting for myself. Because the presidency is the bigger picture. It's not Acarous great. I'm also fighting for the senatorial seat in Monrovia County. We have to fight for it. Democratically, constitutionally, politically, we have to fight. We have to fight across the country. Of the 15 seats, we must go for all. Because the second term of every president, I noticed that under President Sadiq's administration, sometimes the legislature becomes very adamant. So you don't have people who believe in your vision. You don't have that majority black in the legislature, it's a problem. So the Senate is very important for confirmation, for example. It's extremely important. We don't want the kind of a Senate that will arm twist the presidency. Okay, we don't want the kind of a House of Representatives that will make demands before budgets are being passed, for example. When I say make demands, for example, you will say, okay, this sector has to get this amount of money because you come from that area or you come from that community before you can vote on the budget. And when you know the realistic aspect has to do with education, has to do with health, has to do with payment of civil servants, for example, etc. Has to do with rural reconstruction, infrastructure development. So those are the things that the proper agenda look at. So we will be there. In fact, as I speak to you, we have the biggest constructor legislative block in the House of Representatives. And I share that block, in fact.
The CDC is gearing up for elections, and you are a formal National Secretary General. Aside from your role as a district representative, you play a very pivotal role in the CDC. You are adopt as the fiery general. You're adopt as the fiery general, and so it's important to say here the way the people of Liberia see the CDC for re-election. You see on social media, they're call-ins, the CDC is under attack for underperformance. You can't tell us the possibility for the CDC's re-election under President George Weah.
The truest thing of the battle is now on the social media in terms of, if we're depending on the social media in terms of the negativity.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about positivity against President Weah in 2017 election. Then we have been defeated. Because there are some people who are just Facebook intellectuals. Sit on Facebook 24 hours. You see when I post, you see every one of them running. Sometimes I just tease them. Then you see 300, 500 comments. Okay, running after that. The truth of the matter is that in 5 years, within 5 years, the CDC has done as a government, the CDC-led government, okay, has done extremely well, not just in terms of rules, in terms of infrastructure development, in terms of the economy, the devastating economic situation we inherited. You know, we inherited a kind of economic situation where there were people that had jobs, with NGOs or INGOs, with UNMIL, other entities that came to help Liberia, for example. When Liberia got to a point when President Sadiq was about to leave, okay, they had to go to other countries in crisis. So left In fact, I can recall vividly by 2016, 2017, the then finance minister, Wema Kamara, and President Sadi have publicly admitted to these challenges that the economy will get tougher. The unpopular record for that. Okay, so we inherited that. We tried to stabilize the US dollar against the Liberian dollars, for example. We fought and struggled to meet up with the demands of civil servant sovereignty. We had to do harmonization to set the standard across the aisle. Okay, we had to obey rules. Some of those rules as old as Liberia's independence. Some of those rules as old as Liberia's independence from 1847, even our political foundation 1822. So for anyone to make a mistake in this country, that in 5 to 6 years the citizens will have done what should have been done almost 200 years ago, okay, then they are unfair to judging the Mali coalition for democratic change. Okay, we've done rules across the country. Yes, some of the projects we made them there, some of them didn't start or jump started them. Like President Sadi Samuel Doe project, like the Central Bank, for example, of Liberia, that was Samuel Doe project. The Ministry of Health, for example, that was Samuel Doe project, for example, etc. Okay, even the SED Bolivar, that was Samuel Doe project, for example. Okay, so under the doctrine of continuity, they continue that, and they took the credit for that. But we begin to take the credit for what they didn't start, like the Vonjeman Highway, the Bangna Vonjeman Highway. They didn't start that. They didn't have the resources laying out. We ensured that we got the resources, went after it and got it to jumpstart that road. Okay, yet they want to take the credit, or they took credit for all the administration under the doctrine of continuation. Okay, so we don't assess. We had electrical challenges, for example. Okay, we faced that here. We're not escaping it. There were areas that never had street lights in our country. Since the foundation of this country, they never seen street lights. We put street lights there, for example. Light is bringing hope to our people. Okay, we pave roads. We build referral hospitals, for example. Nothing less than 4 referral hospitals we are discussing. We send people out of the country, okay, to go and learn nursing, for example. We put health workers who were never on government payrolls. We inherited that. We put them on government payrolls. We put teachers on government payroll. We increase that benefit. Even doctors and health workers will increase some benefit. It may not be the best, but we add up to that. Okay, so yes, we've done a splendid good job for our country. Transportation, we've done well in the transportation. We brought buses into the country. They are running across. Even South Joseph have buses. They are running across. It's been butchers. Okay, we maintain the peace and security of our country. The greatest demand of any government around the world is the maintaining of peace and security. We maintain peace and security. People can protest in this country. They are not being flogged. They are not being harmed. They've been given our right. They can insult anyone across this country who is not right. Okay, they can say what they want to say. We decriminalize the issue of the anti-freedom of expression or speech. Okay, we decriminalize that under administration to provide you people in the media an opportunity not to be arrested. Okay, for defamation, not to be a criminal offense. For example, you can say what you want to say, though you are liable for what you say. So we've been able to protect the media. We've been able to protect Liberians across the country. So have we done extremely well in all of the categories across? This is the greatest freedom of expression in the history of the country. Yes, President George, where a foreign diplomat will make sarcastic remarks against the administration. Not just one, not just the US, but even the European. Okay, Amanda, we disagree on issues. Even on the BBC, the US ambassador.
Sarcastic, you call it?
Yeah, sarcastic. When I say sarcastic, I've been very blunt and clear about that. I was very sarcastic. Not only was it sarcastic, but he didn't represent the facts. Some of the things that he said.
Which one of the statements that?
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. For example, the issue of paying taxes. Okay, for the issue of finances reaching some hospitals.
You are speaking specifically to Ambassador McCarthy.
Yeah, I'm speaking directly to U.S. Ambassador. I'm going to talk about that. And then publicly challenge him on that publicly. Okay, the issue, there are public records to show that some of these finances reach, okay, these hospitals and these clinics across the country. There are public records. He didn't just do well to look at the public records, for example. You talk about rule, okay? Well, as the U.S. ambassador went across the country or even informing the security apparatus of the country for freely driving across, going to counties where you don't inform the superintendent, where you don't inform the local authority.
Inform those people?
No, it's not a point. You're talking, they say they didn't welcome him. They didn't meet him because he didn't inform them. But the fact of the matter is that the ambassador, when he said what Joseph General was saying, it's a very good question. What Joseph General was said after 1848, when he got inaugurated into office, and up to President Salih administration, that those rules that the American ambassador travel on were not paved. What was Joseph General said to those past governments, to the past presidents, for example, to the past administration? You can't compare that to 5 years, and he knows that. Even the great analysis of America, something to take 10, 15 years doing rules. Okay, he knows that exactly. So his statement was just unfair, extremely unfair. But that's the commitment we made to the Liberian people, and that's what we're making an argument, because we run purely on our records. That's what we do. We impacted many of the slums communities, especially in Monrovia County, with recreation, okay, so that our children can have life. So they can just be all out there. At least they can go play soccer, they can play kickball, they can sit, they can play basketball, they can do track and field. For example, in the Doe community, Nukrutans, and all of those areas we've done low-income homes, for example, across the country, in Grand Gide County, in Imba County, in Monrovia counties and other counties. We've done extremely well. Today, my county of origin, Grand Gide County, the Mandina Rousport Road has been the years in, years out. We are concentrating on that. Okay? The southeastern, okay? The major corridor. Okay? We passed an agreement. Okay? The government signed that agreement by 2019. Okay, between 2019 and 2021. Okay, with the Acarous Development and Investment Bank. Okay, of $100 million United States dollars, $50 million have been made available. Okay, so between Barclayville and Dallas Sando County. Okay, so the Western Corridor is on course as I speak to you. I'm speaking with authority because $50 million United States dollars of that money have been made available. In fact, the feasibility studies has been done. Okay, it's just a matter of giving the report where the Public Works Ministry will be able to make an input into that. So when I hear people talking about the Epton, the Iboma D, we've done something bigger than that. Okay? That public record, you can just search it. You want me to send it to you, I can send it to you today. But people are not talking about that. They're not talking about the facelift we want to give. In fact, for example, people in some of our colleagues in Nima, lawmakers, two of the senators in Nima County, who say we've not done much. What we've done in Nima County, we've done more in Nima County than the Southeastern region, where the president county of origin has. We've done more in Nima County.
We've done more in Nima than the Southeast.
Than the Southeast. Extremely more.
How come Senator Boris Johnson accused you of not fulfilling the promises you made to the people of Nima?
No, when you say promises, it's unfortunate. Okay, when I say it's unfortunate.
How did you lose him?
No,
let me say just before you come in, folks, you can text your concerns on Prime FM, 105.5, Prime FM Monrovia, 105.5. We also have concerns. Reaching down, we'll look at those concerns too as well. This program is live here on Prime FM Radio on a host of other radio station, and his name is Representative Moses Acarous. I'm Kelvin, and we're going to open the lines for you to call in. Just text your concerns on the live feed right here. Yeah, so how did you come to this point, Representative Gray, to lose one of the major assets in election, and that person is no other but Senator Prince Johnson? You heard him say that the promises made to the people of Nimba County at the beginning of your administration, we did not fulfill most of those promises. And so he had to leave. He had to divorce you and find, a new heaven.
I was put in context. The entire public knows that. Even people in the opposition are fully cognizant of that. Prince Johnson's demand was just financial demand for personal gain. Let me repeat. Senator Prince Johnson's demand was a personal demand. It was not a demand for Nima County. Prince Johnson sat in the government for 5 solid years, supporting the administration. The call for Mita State to begin the execution of rules in the country. I guess you from Nima County.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you saw and you seen what they are doing. You seen rules across the country. They inherited along the borderline area, Ganta, Hapo, and other areas. We inherited from the electrification coming from Acarous, from President Seville administration, inherited nothing less than $10 billion. We paid that money for public record. We paid that money. Okay? It's not an issue of jobs. I think they're being deceptive. A government is created.
Senator Johnson has been deceptive.
Yeah, they're being deceptive. Both here and the other senator. They've been very deceptive. Because it's not an issue of jobs. If the argument is the issue of jobs, you start in the government between from year 1 to year 5. You never made any demand. You never spoke about that because you put people in strategic areas from Nima County. We gave deputy minister position. We gave minister proper position. Today, at the governance commission, somebody is appointed there. Okay, the Ministry of Post and Telecommunication, Cyril Donald, former representative, is there. Okay, so Nima has strategic areas in the government. The thing is not about a county. This is not a county meet. Because Lofa will be demanding tomorrow. One county, Grand Gila, for example, will be making a demand. So the argument is poor and deceptive. What do I mean by that? When, for example, Senator Jeremiah Kun spoke up publicly in November, check the record, November of 2022, Front Page Africa. Check the record. I think November 8th, it was when Front Page Africa published when he said the people were not getting jobs, for example. Okay, so look at the local governance in Nima County. Although there was no appointment done in the local governance sector or consultation with Senator Johnson and his MDR team. That's what he requested for. Okay, not only that, but if Senator Kun will say that his people are not getting jobs, and he spoke in November, he admitted in a public interview that you and Larry Jackson interviewing last week, that it was in November of 2022 that Alexander Cummings met him. Similarly, in that month, the Unity Party met him to become vice senator. So you can see the hypocrisy and deception that statement was only made with an intent of ensuring, okay, let me repeat, with an intent of ensuring that he secured the position to become a vice running mate on Ambassador Joseph Wagai. So when last Senator Kun stood on the floor in the pub.
Sorry, I think we have a trade thing. Apparently he touched something. So we need to let's reconnect. We want to sincerely apologize for that.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So when last the question is, in 5 years, how many times have Senator Johnson, for example, Senator Jeremiah Kun, how many times they stood on the legislative floor to debate for Nima County? Journalists across the country who cover your radio station, other stations across the country, the KMTV, the Spoon FM, the Banner, the rest of the Front Page Africa, you covered our session from day 1 of 2018 when we all got inducted into office. When last, these guys who are champion now, who have become the champions of quote unquote of the people of Nima County, when last they stood up and said to the administration Prince Johnson wanted to be, for example, the guy said, most of your personal aggrandizement. Prince Johnson wanted to be the third deputy speaker at Acarous to represent the Republic of Liberia because it was a slot for the Republic of Liberia. We gave it to him. And then just come because Prince Johnson was popular among parliamentarians at the Acarous parliament level. We provided that opportunity to him. Okay? Prince Johnson University was just created by an act of the legislature, passed and signed into law. Okay? Where Prince Johnson had won, he criticized that administration. He said Western about them. So Jeremiah Kuhn was in serious bed with the governing establishment as the Coalition for Democratic Change, along with his political institution. So for people to become deceptive, and another thing, Kevin, Demi, and people out there, I wanted to focus on also, wanted to just chip in. When I listened to your interview of Kevin Demi, along with our friend from the media, Clarence Jackson, and when Jeremiah Kuhn spoke about the Eton and Ibomadi, Kobon came on me straight. Because.
Well, I think we need to pause. It seems that we touched something there, two gentlemen. Yeah, we have to get feedback. Sorry. Okay. So.
Yeah. So my issue here is that when they asked about the Eton D and he said the former deputy speaker from the Unity Party. So listen, man, the former deputy speaker. I work with him. I have political indifference, but he's a decent guy. For you to say respect him, I respect him. Prince Moye is highly respected. In fact, the formula to bring Prince Moye and Buffer Chamber was the head of that black. Okay, so I have a lot of respect for him. I'm gonna say this to you. I did for him on a lot of political issues. I have a lot of respect. To say that the deputy speaker called him, the former deputy speaker Prince Moye, and said to him that this Eton and Ibomandi, they are not in the interest of the country. But we don't want to fight the administration. We don't want to appear that we're fighting the government, the administration. It's sad. It's sad for many reasons. And it's not only sad, but extremely deceptive. Extremely deceptive. Senator Kuhn was the chairman, the co-chairman on the Committee on Westminster Finance, to Thomas Fire. The way the Liberian Constitution is written, that's the only committee that is represented by the entire political subdivision, one person each. We have 15 now, 15 counties. When we have 9, you have 9 persons from the 9 counties. So the 15 political subdivisions are represented on the committee. Now, for you to listen to that and sign a committee report, because the Eton and Ibomadi went to the Committee on Westminster Finance, okay, as a lead committee. So for you to sign the report that the agreement is in the interest of the Liberian people, he signed a report, the 2 reports, that the agreements are in the interest of the Liberian people. The committee made a report on the legislative floor. The committee made a report on the Iboma and the Eton D. The committee defended the report as co-chairman, Father being the chairman, and the rest of the country. They signed the report. They defended the report. They convinced the rest of us because they are the financial experts. If they had advised the plenary, because they are the technicians, they are the technical people on the committee. Okay? So if Senator Kuhn, knowing full well that an agreement was not in the interest of the Liberian people, like he described that the investors have twisted shoes, look at the watches and all of those things.
That's a non-issue. The
issue. Because when the men want to be vice president of our country, who in the second most important position, judging people on the basis of their wearings. It's sad.
He spoke specifically in the context of people are complaining that you are far from the mark.
Yeah.
Now he spoke specifically on the context of value added.
No, but I agree on value added. I want to agree on value added. But the black money boys, you know the story, that will wear big watches, maybe 300 most of them, that will wear most expensive shoes to impress to impress. So Kun is talking like he been a BM before. That's how he spoke to me. You don't judge people on the basis of that. You're talking like you've been a black money boy
impression
and robbing people.
What
impression? I don't want to be personal. He was on the father shoot. What the impression? As coach chairman always business and find out he was a shoot that cost on $5 and a quote that cost $150 US. Why you want to talk about impression?
What's wrong with that?
No.
Anything wrong with that?
If something is wrong with people wearing shoes and watches, there's something wrong with that. Because when an investor trusts you on the basis of what you wear, the question is trust on the basis of what you wear. Okay? You're not wearing more than $5 shoe on your feet. You're not wearing more than $150 coat suit. Then you judge other people on the basis of wearing. That is unfair. But for me, the issue here is that he convinced the plenary. That's the issue. He stood publicly and voted for it. So it means that if he becomes a vice president for a country called for, he will compromise the country. If it's all of sympathy, he will compromise the entire country. Look, let me tell you something. That was in the West. That statement was disqualifying for becoming vice president. The Western media will pick up that statement and will run with it because it's damaging to know the facts and you went against the facts. And you come to admit and you want to hold the second most important position in the country. That is damaging. But now you have been disqualified by the If you will stay in the House of Representatives, we are expelling him from the House, and I will say why. Under the rules of the House of Representatives, you don't lie to the plenary. You don't pay deception. You can be punished for lying to your colleagues.
Senator Kun did that?
For providing false, he provided false information.
What was the false information?
The false information for the fact that he knew the Eton deed was that in the interest of the Liberian people. According to him, that the Eton and Igboman deed was that in the interest of the Liberian people. And the guys were not true investors from the unlock. And he was clear on that. And he went to have a conversation and compromise. And came and defended.
He said he didn't compromise. He advised you that these people...
No. Excuse me. He signed the document. There's a report. Yeah, the report. On the Eton and Igboman deed he signed. There's a report. Look, let me tell you. When a document is sent to a committee, the committee has to make a report to plenary. And we'll ask questions. The chief clerk will read, or the deputy chief clerk will read the report. They will read the recommendations for the passage of that particular document, especially if it's a financial instrument. So, in the recommendations, they justify why we should pass the agreement. He signed the document.
He signed the document?
He signed the document. You can plug up the document, the Igboman deed. In fact, not only the Igboman and Eton deed, but all the financial instruments, reading from the budget, when you were co-chairman. So if you are concerned about NIMA development, and as co-chairman, that's the second most powerful position. And you sign with all developmental package for NIMA County. That's a compromise. What debate do you have? What debate do you have? Look, gentlemen, let's be serious in the country. People say we got to be patriotic. People say we got to be nationalistic. But then NIMA County asked the question to Senator Kun that you are co-chairman on the Committee on Business and Finance. All financial instruments of such originate, the Supreme Court had a ruling on it, originate from the House of Representatives. The budget debate starts from the House of Representatives and the Liberian Senate. What we send to the Senate most of the time is agreed upon and only add up on it sometimes. But we do the bulk of the work. So for you to be the second most important man for 4 solid years on a budget committee, and Gandhi did not benefit, but you only cared about your hospital that you built and sold ambulances to the government in 2014 under Ellen Jones. The ambulance that were donated to those entities, you sold them to the government under Ellen Jones and pocketed over $200,000 in assets from the ambulances. Jeremiah Kun. Okay, you built a hospital. You demanded government to subsidize the hospital and not the public clinic hospitals in that area. Oh yes, Jeremiah Kun has the capacity when he served as co-chairman on Business and Finance to put all the public clinics in the budget in Nima County. He has that authority and that ability to lobby with the rest of his colleagues. You don't put money in the budget to face rules. Okay, you don't do it. You put that money in for Nima infrastructure development. It came from the presidency. The budget comes from the executive branch of government. We did it. And then you claiming that NIMA never benefited. NIMA has to challenge him beginning today. Today, because I will go NIMA County. I have those documents in my possession, the reports.
And you inform the people about it.
Yeah, we have to publish the reports. We're not playing dirty politics. We're playing reality because if Representative Gray comes and says something to you here today, like under early during the administration, there will be no public record that Acarous Gray voted for a concession agreement under early-led administration. My records are very clear. I stood my grounds. I justify that. But he did not do that for 4 years as the most significant man, the second most significant man on the budget committee.
Let's go to
That's the biggest instrument for development of our country.
We will investigate.
Yeah.
We hope you can provide the
You're not just investigating, though. The thing he said, all the journalists can call our session. Even forget about the document for the chief like error. But everything like since 2018. The Spoon TV, for example, the KMTV, the banner, all the guys in here, most of them, including your place. In fact, you got reporters.
Okay.
Reporters are there. So Kevin, you don't need Representative Gray. You don't really need me. You need just to call your reporter and say, look, what the information? Look at the tape. These guys sit on the floor to justify. Why not in their interest? They may want to be vice running in Snow in 2017. To be a vice running in 2017. So yeah, interest is his right. I'm not questioning your constitutional right.
You have interest to be
No, I'm not questioning his constitutional right. What I'm questioning is a massive deception and false information. If you are in the house, we expect him tomorrow morning. I can tell you how to vote. If that man were in the house for providing false information and justifying to a political technician, the general the public work minister goes to the president and justify to the president why they should do the rules. They have everything. They have the technical know-how, and the rule doesn't turn up to be what it is. The public work minister has to go. So, seriously, that you know sometimes when you know how to talk, don't talk.
What does this tell the people of United Party?
Not just United Party. It sends a message across the country.
That who is?
I don't want to use a word here. He's insincere. You know, I want to say he's a crook, but I will not use it on him because he's been my colleague in the House of Representatives. I will show that respect. But that maximum insincerity, that deception, and it shows that the people out there had to be more critical on who they make vice running or who they want to make.
Now that they have made it, let's look at the arrangement. The United Party, Prince Johnson, getting to consent, getting to agree that his son, his political godson, is the running mate to Mr. Joseph Boakai. What do you make of that arrangement? And then you saw an ejection of some very key persons who we were told were promised, the likes of Mr. Henry Costa. Of course, the loan wasn't promised, but he had an interest. He was tied to Senator Yombi Kanga Lawrence. We see him eject. We see Senator Yombi Kanga, even though on yesterday she reaffirmed her support for Mr. Joseph Boakai and Mr. Henry Pedro Costa. What do you make of all of this?
So to be frank, let me just start with my sister,
Senator Kanga.
Senator Kanga. Look, people got to be serious in this country. For the endorsement ceremony, her wing of the Liberty Party issued a statement of gross disrespect to the Liberty Party. They did not attend the program because of gross disrespect.
That's the ability side.
No, I'm just saying, Yombi Kanga issued a statement. You need a real statement. In context, in totality, it was a gross disrespect and the fair height because they feel that the former Vice President Joseph Boakai had made some commitments and they were really anticipating that the Liberty Party will have to come to vice running again. It's a public record. You cover the program, they didn't attend the program. Yeah. If somebody can disrespect you today, they will still disrespect you tomorrow. If somebody can show you that kind of massive disrespect, okay, they can still disrespect you tomorrow. So that's why the program was poorly attended. And you'll be shocked. I'm hearing from internal sources that one of the reasons is that it's widely believed internally from the Yombi end because very soon you will see what will happen in Buchanan. There's an element of surprise. I can tell you, even from some supporters of the Liberty Party. They believe that Nyomli was bought off
By
the boycott with
Boycott
yeah, not less than half a million United States. Because of the angle that the Nyomli wing of the Liberty Party left and then go to the endorsement for her to somersault and begin to start as the president for now of Joseph Boycott. The guys believe, they are very convinced, because some of them were on the technical team. I've spoken to them. Some of them are people that are personally trained, okay, in this country.
She was spoken to.
No,
She's
I'm
there
saying-
in the interest of peace.
No, but what will people
Our
say?
common goal is to seek
Yeah,
peace
but
and
what
not
will people say? It's not even strange. Nyoni had never supported the CDC, personally, but we have supported her.
Really?
When she was contested for the senatorial seat in Grand Bassa County, okay, that was a by-election. Okay, we supported her.
Against Gazonga Fine?
We supported her. It was not Finley, it was against a caveat thing from the Unity Party, but then it was from the Unity Party. That was a by-election. Something happened in the county and then it had a by-election. So,
And she knew about the CDC support.
don't say she knew. The lady represented Adolph Lawrence. He is so rest in perpetual peace. A very good friend of mine. We did a lot of things in common. The lady Eugene Falapaka from Lofa County, and he is so rest in perpetual peace. And we went into Grand Bassa County during that election. Went to the school campuses, some of the schools. We went to some communities. Okay, I never even knew that time that when I got to know that they have a whole Kisi community in Grand Bassa County, because the lady Eugene Falapaka took us there. Okay, where Vincent Wade, in fact, is representative, we even went there, where Baron Brown used to be. In fact, I did the media damage because Daniel Che was running. Daniel Che was almost picked to be the winner. But one of the greatest propaganda they had against Nyomli Kanga, Senator Kanga, was that she and her husband would be in the legislature. And the argument was that nowhere in the world that has happened to a rich or family, a single family. So I had to make a research on Canada. I think one of the local parliaments, something like Canada or Australia, one of the two, that there's a historicity of the husband well being there. I unearthed that and I took onto the radio station. The CDC endorsed her as National Secretary General of the CDC. We endorsed her, we didn't get support. The president spoke and called on the radio station, the current president of the Republic of Liberia, endorsing the Liberty Party candidate. Okay, so it's a public record I'm talking about. We supported her. But people sometimes show ingratitude, but that's not the issue. Okay, that's not the issue. So for Senator Kanga to somersault, in fact, the Liberty Party, I think they're going to court because they said they use their symbol. She doesn't have the authority because the Secretary General and the party chairman are the most important people in party information. You know that. Okay, the chairman of the party is like the official spokesperson of the party. The Secretary General is the custodian of all documents. She didn't have the legitimacy and you understand to commit the party or commit any side of the Liberty Party. I think Musa Belete was on air last night. I called that. I didn't monitor. Okay, but they are going to court. I'm telling you, there's a strong element of surprise in Grand Bassa County. I will not say it. The CDC is charged with that authority to say that. But I can say to you fairly, that's why the place was not by. You notice that some prominent officials that didn't even go into Grand Bassa County because they felt that, according to the information I gathered, I won't say allegedly, that she didn't give the money to some people. She didn't spend the money for the people.
She received
a $500,000. Allegedly, that's what I heard. Yeah. Okay. So people are disgruntled about that you will sell the institution or portion of the institution after they have made a decision to withdraw from the quote-unquote coalition, the unholy coalition, quote-unquote, to withdraw and not attend the program. But it's why she didn't attend the program. Everyone knew that Nyong'li was furious. That company of Liberty Party was very silent. So to come and say in the interest of the Liberian, it's in low interest of the Liberian people, like personal interest, and money interest. Let's stop this joke in this country.
What about the rest of the others? The people in line? The likes of Costa, Delon.
I believe Delon and Nyong'li, okay, are inseparable when it comes to making political decisions. I believe maybe it can change. Okay, I believe they are inseparable when it comes to political decision. It could change. That's politics. Okay? But what they did to the ALP, like they did to the ALP, the component of the ALP, Mr. Ure Party issued a statement, very damning statement, that they were not even informed. That's what they said. They said they on record that they were not even informed. Okay? You can't be promising people all around. Okay, that you can't promise John you'll be vice running mate. You promise Peter you'll be vice running mate. You promise Annie that she'll be vice running mate. You know that deception. Okay, that divide and rule. You put it on game and
at the end of the decision, I don't understand when you say deception at the end, that authority is cloth.
Then you don't promise. You don't promise anymore. You don't promise. That what? In fact, that's one of the major things. Because look at Costa. I disagree with Costa on many issues. Okay, I have a historical tie with Costa from the CDC time, 2010, 2011. Okay. We have a serious political indifference on the subject matter. Let's be fair. Costa resuscitated. Costa resuscitated the dead Unity Party. He put his life, he put his radio station, he put his integrity, he put his finances, he put everything on the line that you can think about, along with the ALP. Mr. Uri, you know Mr. Uri, whether you like Mr. Uri or not, I mean, I devote Mr. Uri. Mr. Uri is a fighter. He's a kind of a guy who go out to fight. Okay, he fights. Okay, so all of those people, consider them for Mr. Uri, who fought Alexander Cummings on your behalf, to say that you didn't invite them. You know what it means? To say that you didn't invite them. When you saw Henry Costa saying that men can talk all, look at the body language. There's a language that people didn't pick up from that. It means Joseph Boyka goes to America, we'll take care of his lodging. We'll take care of his transportation. We'll help with his medical. Okay? We're flying around, not just America, other areas. He made a commitment to us. Just show a little respect. The guys on Unity Party got so arrogant, lambasting Costa, believing that Costa cannot be. Kun is not better than Costa.
But how sure are you?
No, but Kun, public record is not better than Costa.
They are correct.
Okay?
They have never believed in all the things that Costa has said.
No, I'm not saying
because
I'm telling you, I have a serious political indifference with Henry Costa. Costa knows that very well.
Are you saying Costa is better than Mr.
When you put Costa and Kun, I work with Kun. I work with Kun.
You're talking about for the vice running mate seat?
Yeah, I worked with Kun for 10 years. Almost 10 years. We got in the legislature in 2012. Leadership role played by Kun in the House of Representatives for 10 solid years. In terms of leading, in terms of direction. Okay. I'm talking about leadership where you call 4 or 5 lawmakers them together and try to talk to them. He has not played a significant leadership. The only time you see Kun emerge is when he feels that the food is cooked and ready to be dished up. I'll give you an example. When we had a disagreement with Aristotle, when Kun saw that Aristotle was still stronger and were making the fight, he even came and he went and met President Salif according to him. And all the conversation they had, he came to Tyler because he believed Aristotle would remain speaker. When the tide turned and the numbers were wrecked, Kun jumped on board. A lot of guys disagree. Acarous, you don't man, he didn't fight with us. We are about to dish out the food. Then when he cast together and fought us, we said no. We need every number. Then Jeremiah Kun joined us. I'll give you a second example. In 2017, after we won the legislative seats, we had a meeting. The first meeting we had at my home that I built on Ralph Highway. Called that meeting, the former deputy speakers, Prince Boy were there, Thomas Fada, Kafia, Koga, all of those guys were there. Kun wasn't part of our meeting at all. So we said that, look, my position was very clear. Once the CDC wins the runoff election, we take the speaker position. Okay, and vice versa with the Unity Party. We agree. we have 15 persons in our meeting. We fought for the number to reach up to 30. We only needed 37 persons. Even 32 were won because some of our friends were equal. Even 32 persons were won. Oh, we already had 30. Okay? Because Kun was not initial with us. Okay, he was still playing the hanky-panky role. So when we reach the number and we have sealed the deed, consummated the deed with the unit party that will get in the deputy, because they came second to us. CDC had a majority. We have between 24 to 25 and they had 21. So we wanted to merge the numbers, and then at the end of the day, we produce a speaker and a deputy speaker, and wanted kind of bipartisan approach in the House of Representatives to work smoothly, because some of our colleagues have come from the 50th we work with them. So when we're about to dish out a meal, is when Kun's office, in fact, it was Edwin Snow who broke home. It was Edwin Snow who broke home. So that's how I said, okay, what we need to do, because our land, we have a lot of people. The MDRO collaborated with us. But look, you're here poking to the Unity Party side because of independent candidates and other people are joining us. Once you're having them, we'll put in. And that is how the committee meeting in terms of which committee the Unity Party will get, which committee the CDC will get. So if we get the chairman position, they will get the deputy. The only committee that, for example, they were not going to get the deputy was the committee on executive. So if they go to Acarous, we go to the ACP. Okay, maybe they send two, send one to Acarous, just like that, the ACP and all the international body. That's how Kun became, how they call it, because I fought in the process, okay, with other people so Kun can be the co-chair, because the MDR was in line with the CDC. So for Senator Kun to come on and say, I was in bed, I collaborated with them. Even the Farmington meeting that was called, it was Kun who led the process to collaborate with the CDC, the Farmington meeting. Well, Sarah Donald, for example, okay, Garrison Yelu, former colleagues from the House of Representatives, he brought all of them to the meeting. So the infield started. That's why the massive offensive that have been launched in Nimaka, the unprecedented massive offensive. You have been complaining that the chiefs, that the locals, the traditional leaders, you understand, they want to support the CDC, they are carving a resolution. We have launched the greatest massive offensive. I can tell you this for sure. In Nimma County, we've launched that. What we did in Lofa County for that senatorial election, it will be a massive repeat. We'll sweep Nimma County, I can guarantee you that. Today, Senator Johnson, and it's a serious issue. He's threatening the locals in Nimma County. It's a serious national security concern on the life of those people, especially traditional leaders, the chief. You heard the press conference he had. He's threatening those people. He's making important calls. We will not tolerate that. A certain senator of the country that supports Joseph Boyka has to be warned. We will not tolerate Senator Johnson threatening the locals in Nimma County. Nimma is not a personal property of Senator Johnson. Okay, and I can guarantee you Senator Johnson will be fighting more for his seats. Those representative seats where he will be filling people in, plus his seat. He will be fighting more for those seats than even fighting for Joseph Boyka. Because the offensive, he's crying now. And threatening people, going at the days of the civil crisis where the senator will threaten people, threaten their lives, threaten their positions, etc. He has to understand that we cannot do that. That's some of the reasons that he was being sanctioned for. Those are some of the reasons that he was being sanctioned for. So in essence, that is us baggage to the Unity Party. So all of those people, yeah, but Kun is a puppet to Senator Johnson. Senator Johnson is the true leader in disguise. The Americans know that. The Europeans know that. I represent Liberia, the European, the Joint European and African Caribbean Parliament. The people are raising concern about this thing for the role. Because as far as they are concerned, the Americans are raising concern. Because can you imagine, Kun strategically made a statement and it slipped from his mouth. When he said those Chinese, those funny looking Chinese people, he said that. Because now, the legislature and the foreign policy of our country, directed by the president, the legislature endorsed the one China policy. But Kun and Boyka now they are having conversation with Taiwan. And that is a serious issue. And Kun knows that the very China he goes through to get all the materials to bring to this country and look at people and call them funny Chinese people. It's a serious diplomatic concern. with the statement that Kun made, it shows directly and angry that they are talking to the people from Taiwan. Okay, you remember President Salitan when it was alleged that Edwin Snow and other people in that brought a fight with the Taiwan issue. The Joseph Boakai ticket is in serious conversation with Taiwan, and my understanding that they sent some emissaries into Taiwan already, and they make some clandestine visit out of the country where people from Taiwan will be able to meet them. Okay, so that is a direct defiance to the one China policy endorsed by the executive branch of government that direct the foreign policies of our country, and they have endorsement by members of the legislature to recognize and deal with the one China policy, that is mainland China, and do business with them. So for you to look for money anyway, it's dangerous to the forward march and developmental agenda of our country. Those guys will not develop this country because they are money makers. All that they want to do is to get involved into clandestine activities. So if you're putting a Costa, and the reason why I say focus on Jeremiah Kun, I know Jeremiah Kun, and I know Costa. Costa has slept in the same bedroom before for some time. Okay, at my home on Capital Bypass. Costa will not hide feelings. Costa will not hide his behavior. So you need a leader, okay, that you will know. And not a leader that will conceal his behavior. Not a leader that even went against the very unity party. Not a leader that stood in the public domain on the legislative floor, defending the programs and policy of the government.
Okay.
Okay? So that's the difference for me. I like to deal with people. People who belong will say what they want to say. Costa will say what they want to say, whether it's right or wrong. That's the point I'm talking about. I'm not saying I support Costa to be a vice president of the Republic of Liberia. But I'm telling you, Costa, in terms of his position, his body language is clear. His articulations, his gesticulation are very clear. Unlike the ship in Wolf Colony. Okay.
Who's that person?
Kun.
Okay.
You know Kun?
The sheep.
Or you don't know Kun?
The sheep.
No, let me tell you today, even in the legislature, I'm saying this to you. Even in the legislature, today, they're in the horse. Even the United Party lawmakers, they will not say publicly, we've been holding conversation. The shock that boy got to Kun. You got to know Kun. They know what they did.
But you want that Kun?
No, that will be a vice CDC. Want that Kun to be vice president in the country, God forbid. What are you talking about that Kun can be vice president?
You wanted his support?
No, man. MDR, yeah, we all want everyone's support, but still to be vice president. What are you talking to?
Finally, Kasilokupokra, why did you dismiss it? I thought your government was a government of inclusion. Then we go to the lines. Folks, let me announce the number. You will end up on that one, and then we pick up at most 8 calls. We have concerns here that we'll read, and he's certainly going to respond to those. 0886 050507. That's our MTM number. 0886 050507. 0770 1051 0770 1051. And for those of you overseas, you can call by dialing +231 777 40 4010 +231 777 40 4010. And the numbers, we pick up 8 calls. 8 calls at most.
Let me quickly respond.
Yeah, quickly, time, please.
Right.
Yeah.
Councilor Crow. I have no malice against a professional man, okay, and a politician, the chairman of a political institution, and I'll answer the question this way. Senator Bryn Johnson had called about 1 to 2 months ago that those of the people of a political institution that are in government, okay, that want to follow him, and those who don't want to follow him, he said they should resign. He asked them to leave. If they don't leave, he will expel them for his party. Nobody in the opposition talking about intolerance. Nobody. None of them. None is saying that Prince Johnson was intolerant because people disagree with him. But Representative Gray said, in a professional setting environment, like where you work in according to the way and pleasure by the Constitution, if you have a public indifference, especially going to election on political issue, that you're not going to support your boss, you don't believe in him because you're saying you don't believe in your party going to endorse an opponent to your boss, professionally you resign. Let me repeat. Professionally, you pen your resignation and you resign. Was President Johnson wrong politically for asking them to resign? I don't think it was wrong because you can't serve two masters. You can't be serving Prince and serving President William. Now, the next thing is that I asked for him to resign. That's what I wrote on my page. I said, in a professional setting, you must resign. How do you sit in cabinet meeting? What will you present? Post and Telecommunication Board, one of the best handed that should even be generated very. What presentation you do? What trust do they have for you? How do you feel comfortable? Kevin, how do I feel comfortable looking in your face? You're my boss. I endorse another person that won your position. And you appointed me and I sit under you. You understand? And working in your office and telling you to your face.
You don't believe my vision?
Yes. No, let me tell you this. Kevin, that's not politics. Nobody does that. One of my colleagues wrote on Facebook page, I say, can you tolerate somebody in your office who campaigning for your opponent in your district? No. Come on, never tolerate that. Prince Johnson, that be real. Don't forget about Acarous. This is a counselor. He's a professional character, but it's a profession. It's a jealous profession. He should have resigned. And to watch us that, Prince Johnson called me on a Sunday after I posted that. And Senator Johnson said to me, look, Honorable Gray, I respect your position. I advise him he should have resigned.
He said that in your view.
Yes, I went to the VOA. He said he should have resigned. I posted it before he went on the VOA. But Senator Johnson and I said, he said he should have resigned. He should not even gone to the program. He should have written a letter thanking the president for working with him and cordially depart. So, who is intolerant? Let's be real. There's a logic right there. And somebody jump and tell you, Kevin, representing the great, that the government or inclusion, all the Liberians supposed to work. You thought all the Liberians supposed to work? Yes, all Liberians supposed to work. We inherited a civil servant in this country. That nothing less than 70% of them were from the Unity Party. We didn't dismiss them. They stayed there. They're tolerant. We inherited ministers from the Unity Party and all that era. But there's something called loyal opposition. Loyal. You go to Britain, they will tell you about loyal opposition. People will appoint opposition who are willing to work for your program and your policy. That's what they do. But a seat on the head of state, the president is sitting. You go to a program publicly and you endorse another man that wants the seat of your boss. And people talk about, oh, great, you are not tolerant. I'm going in my country.
Are you going in my?
I'm going in my. I'm going in my. I will take the airways in my country. I can assure you. And I'm going to help white son going in Nema. The chairman of the party will make that pronouncement. Forget about Grand Pastor County. In Pastor, the CDC, in first run, I usually come second when Councilor Bronski was run. Okay? 2017, let me be specific. The second round won Grand Pastor massively, including rural access. Okay? That was when Councilor Bronski was running for the presidency of the country. You will see what will happen just then in Grand Pastor County. Just watch and see what's going to happen in Grand Pastor County. Okay? They cannot win Grand Pastor County. Take that one off. But even local county, Joseph Boga will not win local county. I don't want to talk about Bon. I don't want to talk about Nima. Okay? So what we need is that our tolerance level, you know me, my tolerance level is very high.
Okay.
My tolerance level is
no, this is for you to write down because
okay. My tolerance level is extremely high. Nothing less than 60 to 70% of my friends I went to school together. From high school, from community to university. They are part of the Unity Party, they are part of ALP, they are part of other political institutions. I go where they said we eat and drink. I'm very tolerant. Muhammad Ali, we were sleeping in the same room on the same bed when you were campaigning for Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And I was campaigning in 2005 for George Weah. Call Mo Ali, the former secretary of the United Party, putting online. My friends from Unity Party, the rest of the guys, they're my friends. Okay, most of those young comrades who came up, interacted with them. I still sit with them. In fact, I even called me on his wedding issue for to have a conversation. Okay? So I still have interpersonal, not just personal, but interpersonal relationship with Congress from the Unity Party. I don't shy away from that. I don't want one of those government officials or anybody that will say and say, or politician that my political life is by far more different from my other interactions with people, and that's public record. So I'm one of the most tolerant character in the history of the country, and that's why in addition, a lot of guys say, but oh, we install Acarous, we'll sit, but state Acarous will talk to us, he will sit with us. So my tolerant level is extremely high.
Thank you. His name is Representative Moses.
And it's the prerogative of the president to make a decision on who he wants to work with it. It's a constitutional prerogative that cannot be questioned by any individual, and nobody can challenge that constitutional prerogative.
Thank you. His name is Representative Moses Acarous Gray of District Number 8, Monrovia County. We pick up at most 8 calls. Let's not more than a minute. I'm very honest about that. Not more than a minute. Please help me with your pen, so you can use this to write down those concerns that you feel necessary for response. Those persons outside of Liberia, you can call by dialing +231. Only people outside of Liberia, +231 777 40 40 10, +231 777 40 40 10. 1 minute per call. Let's hear from the first caller on the line. Good morning. Your name and where you call from? Good morning. Not more than a minute, please. Yeah.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir.
This is Michael Sherry from District Number 8, Monrovia County, former Secretary General of the Agumbela Action Political Community.
Go ahead.
We want to appreciate Honorable Gray, he's our leader, and because of the leadership ability they are showing to the people of District Number 8, we are grateful that we were able to leave the term of George Agumbela, who is not ready to be representative of District 8, to support him. And so our support is with him, and we are encouraging across and the left here to give the support to the coalition of democratic change and Account Motivating District. That support all of our candidates and TDC. Thank you so much, and we want to appreciate you, General. I'll be happy in the position for you and the family.
Thank you. He was straight to the point. Let's hear from the next caller. Caller number 2, then we take this international call. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, you're live. Quickly, not more than a minute, please. 1 minute. Go ahead, my brother.
Everyone has to on the account of the great video. I don't want to have no moral conflict on the issue of who